Hello everybody, so today we are on the final silage cut of the year. Summer's third cut. These particular fields where we are now is second cut after hay. Okay, so we took the hay, when was that? Second week of June probably. We did go quite early and then it rained quite a bit. So we were lucky we got on, and now this second cut has come on very well. So first thing we're going to do, hitch back onto the rake and make a start on raking the final field. We're not going to get it all raked today. So we're not going to get it all raked today, or the final field raked today. So we'll get hitched on and we'll tell you what's happening. So we just hitched the rake off here. This is a hard track. This is pretty wet, soft ground, and we've had a wet summer. This rake is heavier than it looks, and it doesn't take a lot to make it sink if you unhitch it on a field. So didn't want to take no chances this summer. I left it on a bit of hard ground. So this is the final field we've got to rake, and probably the biggest field, just by a smidge over that one. So we will get started. So I often get asked what are the two ropes that I pull when we're opening the rake. So first we've got to do, pressurise the rams, pull the orange one. That lets the transport locks off. And then we'll push them up against that, and then we pull the green one, and what that does, that controls the diverter valve, which sends oil to those little tiny rams inside the arms here, and they push the rotors out to whatever width we set to. And then we get the diverter valve, which allows us to operate each rotor independently, or they will do both together. So let's get going. So we did once round the headland yesterday, just for milking. So the plan of attack is we have got about 64 or 5 acres to round Bale. The clamp is full, and 52 or 3 of it is too far to haul back with a wagon anyway. So it's going to be baled. Everything is now mown. We're aiming for a 2-day wilt before we bale it. So this field was cut yesterday. We're not going to bale it today. But what we're going to do, so what we did yesterday, while the second field was getting mowed, I went ahead and I raked about, what do I rake? Probably 40-ish, 42 acres, something like that. Raked that yesterday. If we can get that baled today, we'll be doing well. And that will then just leave us with this final field to finish tomorrow. At the moment we are full on into calving. There's cows and heifers calving every day, and our days are very short. We've got to get everything finished first before we go out baling or mowing or whatever, any job. And then we've all got to be finished in time for 4 o'clock to go milking again, because we've got quite a few heifers, fresh first calf heifers, and they're not always the quietest. So what we tend to do is to get 2 of us in the parlour, and then it just makes things so much easier with the fresh heifers. It just makes sure they calm down nicely, and then can be managed easily. Once they settle down, one person can milk, and just for the first few days of a heifer's kind of milking career, it just pays to put that extra time in to get them quiet. So that's why we can't, we've got to do everything between milkings. So if we can bale everything I raked yesterday, like I said, we'll be doing well. So I'm just starting off raking because brother has got to take the mower off, get the baler on, get the baler greased round, go and look at the heifers and get some wrap. So he's got a fair bit of work ahead of him before he even gets baling. So what I'm going to do is get as much of this raked as I can. He's going to let me know once he's been baling for an hour or so. I'm going to go home, get the wrapper, and we will try and catch him up. Whether we will or not remains to be seen. Our baler and wrapper are very well matched in output terms, in a good crop. This here would be classed as second cut. It's a very, very heavy second cut. But the first 2 fields is third cut. That's not so heavy, so hopefully you can bale, get the first field finished at least, and then I can go in and start wrapping. It's quicker to wrap a finished field than go in, follow straight behind and trailing around the headland chasing the baler anyway, especially on a light crop. So that's the plan. So we'll rake for an hour or so, or an hour and a half-ish, and then go and start wrapping. Right, so we've got a good bit done. Headland is done. All of those long runs there were done. It's a bit of a funny shaped field, this one, so we do some long runs that way. Then we do some short runs that way between here and them trees. And then the far side of the trees, we go that way again. So I've just got the bit the far side of the trees left to finish. I'm going to go off, start wrapping now. I don't like to film the other side of the trees because it is next to the owner's house. So we respect his privacy, and I don't ever film anywhere near the house. So any filming you will see, we'll try and get some baling, and that'll be somewhere else. Yeah, but almost finished raking, so we're going to drop the rake off now, go back home, get the wrapper, start wrapping. We will start on the third cut bales. So next time you see us, hopefully we'll be wrapping. Right, so here we are into the first field. How many bales is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bales. So this is the first of, so this field is one of the second, no, this is a third cut field. This is a silage. We've taken 2 cuts of silage off of this. So this is its third cut of the year. And I think this is a slightly lighter of the 2. Or of the two third cut fields. So we'll get a bale on, get our wrap set, and then the chase will be on to catch up the baler before he gets too far ahead. But they do look some nice firm, nice dry bales. Right, so first thing we'll do, reset the counter. So last job we did was 20 bales, so we'll get rid of that, and see how many we end up with at the end of tomorrow. It won't be the end of today. So here they are, perfectly dry, lovely firm bales. So what I do, take the end of the wrap, just tie it under there, and that will then snap as it's going round. Right, so first field done. There was a miscalculation or miscounting, 12 bales actually. So that's the first field and the lightest yielding field of the whole lot done. So let's move on now. The second field will be third cut as well. I'm looking at it from here. Looks a little, the bales look a bit more plentiful over there. So we'll shoot on over there, get those wrapped up. So second field all done, 22 bales off of the same size field. So yeah, like I said earlier on, it looked a bit heavier, and it was. And this was actually, or that was actually the field we were zero grazing in way back, when was that? June? July? June. July. Back in the summer anyway. So right, that is third cut finished. We are now off to second cut. So just 2 more bales to finish for the day, and we haven't got quite as far as I was hoping, but I caught the baler when I had about 6 bales ahead of me when I caught the baler on this trail. So there's just one more bale to wrap. It's milking time now. We're going to pack up and go home. So for most of the afternoon I was about 12 or 13 bales behind the baler. And time we'd finished, I was about 6 behind. Time he'd packed up and put his little wheels off. So let's wrap the final one. Go and milk some cows. So that gives us a total for the day of 114 so far. We're probably halfway done area wise, but not halfway done crop wise. If you remember, the first 2 fields were lighter. So back tomorrow to get finished. Right, so we are now into day 2, or actually We are at the end of day 2. This is the final bale going on. And there's the final bale going off. So that is silage for this year officially finished. Well, I'm just going to have a drive around the field just to make sure I haven't missed any. But what have we done? So yesterday we finished on 114. Today we have done three fields, a big one and 2 little ones. We've ended up total, it's gone. Total for the 2 days, 273 bales. So that's a few more than we were expecting. So we had a notification come up from the weather thingy on the phone about 2 o'clock. We expect rain at 4. Rain is forecast tonight and tomorrow. And then it changed to expect rain at 3. Well, it's just 4 o'clock now and it's not raining yet. But it doesn't matter, it can rain if it wants. Because we are finished. Everything's wrapped up. All we've got to do now is collect them all up. So there we go. Didn't get much film today just because it was so hectic. Had to start off raking, get a little bit raked. We were held up this morning by cows and calves. As always, cows come first. So we had to sort that out. I was hoping to get ahead with the rake this morning. Get a half-hour head start with the rake before the baler got here. But that just didn't happen. We both got here together. So we had to rake. To finish off raking, Woody started baling. And at one point when I spoke to him, I was 40 bales behind with the baler, or 40 bales behind the baler. By the end of the day, when he'd finished, I had 6 more to go. So we caught him up. So two of the fields we've just baled today are at the same 2 that we baled way back in early June, mid-June, something like that. So those are the 2 fields we baled. The first baled silage we did this year. The reason for doing that, we didn't have any bales in stock left over from last year, and I don't like to go in to a summer without any bales, just in case we got to feed, because pretty much every year we end up feeding the cows at some point through the summer because dry weather stops grass growth. As it turns out, this year has been a perfect grass summer, and we haven't fed a single bale until about 4 or 5 days ago. We have just started feeding the cows. We have got quite a few fresh calvers now, and 2 weeks without rain, we're running out of grass in September. And we weren't really using enough to open the clamp, so we fed a few bales, and it was those bales that we made back in June that we fed. We're getting close now. We're going to have to open the clamp because we need a bit more. We're going to be using enough to make it worthwhile opening the clamp now. So that'll be a job coming up, get the clamp open and get on to proper winter feeding, not proper winter feeding, but easing into the winter feeding routine. All right, so we've done a full lap, we've not missed any. Time to go home and milk some cows. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and do the old thumbs up thing. And we will see you next time.